Right before I started smoking weed, I drank alcohol for the first time. Didn't really fall in love with it. Still, I enjoyed the feeling. I enjoy any feeling that, got me out of myself. Like, I couldn't see myself, like, I honestly didn't think I was gonna live past 25. That's just the way I thought about it. I was like, all right, well, I can't see myself physically as 25 and being that mature, so I just wanted to numb it out. First time wasn't very good. Like, I hated it, and then I started doing it again and again. It became an everyday habit. And then I was smoking weed, and eventually got into a car accident. And they prescribed me Vicodin, and from then on, that one time, it was just, I fell in love with it. It was like the thing I've been looking for, you know. When I couldn't find Vicodin, I went to Oxycontin, and I was like, well, that's kind of sketchy. That Oxy's really sketchy. Like, I've heard bad stories about it. And I was like, well, if I only pop a quarter at a time, if I cut it up into quarters and then pop that, it's equivalent of 5 Percocet or whatever. So I was like, all right, I just raised the dose a little bit. But then it led to, one day I was selling weed and somebody called me and they're like, hey, I'll trade you a quarter of an Oxy, or I'll smoke half an Oxy with you, and for a 20 bag. And I was really wanting to get high at the time. I wasn't quite to the point where I was getting dope sick yet, but I was like, sure, why not? So I went there and I sold the bag to him and I smoked it, and I mean, just the feeling that I got was just, it was like I said earlier, it was the thing I've been looking for such a long time. I realized that marijuana does lead to other drugs. Eventually, you're eventually chasing that high, especially people with a strong addictive personality. It's going to lead to that. Well, when I was younger, I was brought up in a Presbyterian church, and I've always known God, and I've actually had a really strong relationship. There's no doubt in my mind that He's real, and I knew Him, and I just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's because about that time when I started smoking weed, I was really strong with Him, and I think it was just Satan trying to get me away from God, because after that point, He just kind of went out the window. I almost just forgot about Him, and then I started when I started hearing about New Heart Place, it started coming back to my mind, and I was like, I haven't had an answered prayer in a while, and eventually I got spiritually stale. So, and then that one day, that one faithful day, I didn't have any dope to shoot, and I was just super sick, and I was in a car. It was really cold. I didn't have a place to stay at the time, and I remember just crying out, like, Lord, help me. I need help. I can't do this on my own. And that's when I heard that voice, the distinctive voice. I was like, are you ready? I was like, yes. And he's like, well, I'm about to bless you. As long as you're ready, be serious about this, I'm about to bless you. My mom always told me about it, and she's like, there's this really cool spot, if you ever decide to get clean. I haven't seen God in such a long time. I didn't know what to think or what to do. So, I don't know, this one day I just sitting in a car, I just didn't know what to do. So, I prayed out to God, and I was like, God, help me out here. Give me some direction. And I remember it's probably the most distinct voice I've heard from the Holy Spirit is, Ryan, are you ready? And, I was just like, yeah, Lord, I am ready. And, He promised me it's going to be one of the best experiences of my life, and it was, I came to Monday night and started meeting with some of the guys, and it was good. It was a good experience from there. I mean, it's just a dream from there, it doesn't seem real almost. It was almost like it was a homecoming to God. Like, I was starting to learn a little bit more about Him again, and I was starting to remember my past and who I really am. And, my relationship's just, now I have a one-on-one relationship with Him. Me and the Holy Spirit talk. He's my main man. He's my, my protector, my spiritual therapist. He's everything to me. So, I mean, it went from not having any spiritual background when I was using, to relying on Him and everything. And, that really gives the whole power of using kind of goes out the window, because now I have God for, anything that I was insecure about when I was using, or that I was upset about, was frustrated about. Oh, I love Ryan. He's a great guy. I mean, I mean, I honestly didn't see myself past 25, so I just lived how I wanted to live. I just lived as if I was gonna die tomorrow. I didn't really care. And now I care about my life. I used to not wear my seatbelt because I was just like, whatever, it's God's will if I die. But now I wear my seatbelt. That's just an example. I care about myself. I care about my family now. That's the strongest relationships I had were with my family. Like, I loved them to death, but still it was lacking, and like, I love my family now. I just love everything about my life. Life's totally brand new now that I met God, so for the second time. I'd say God does answer prayers, and don't give up on him. No matter what you do, you gotta stop enabling him, but you can't give up on him. You gotta always be there for him, to pray with him, just to constantly encourage them to start following the Lord again, or introduce them to the Lord, because that's really the only way to do it. Don't give up and give it a chance, because I wouldn't believe it. I was just getting into this program just to get a place to stay. I wasn't too interested in getting clean. And once I gave it a shot, 2 months, 3 months in, it just all started to come together. And if you just give it a chance, just like 2-3 months, it takes a little while, like 2 or 3 months, but once you get past that point, you start seeing everything more clearly. So give it time. That's the most important thing. Just get clean. It sucks at first. It sucks so bad at first. You're sick. With alcohol or whatever it is, alcohol, you're sick, you got the withdrawals, or dope, it's just, you just gotta give it a chance. Just give it a couple months. He's a provider. He provides everything that I have. He's given me so much. He blesses me countless times. Counselor, I go to him to talk to him about things, no matter what it is, he's always got a good answer for me. He's a friend, he's constantly speaking in my ear, leading me the right direction. He's a leader. He tells me to do certain things. The Holy Spirit will, tell me to do certain things, and then I do it, and I feel so much better about myself and who Ryan is, so. I don't know, my heart really goes out to those people still using, like I said, it's just, give it a chance, there's a miracle out there waiting to happen. You just gotta open the door for it. You gotta believe in it, and that's Jesus.